All right, we want to let you know this does not mean that winter weather is imminent, but we do want you to be prepared for what could be, I say what could be ahead for the entire winter season here in the Western New York region.
And that is why Storm Team 2 has prepared their annual winter weather outlook to give us some insight into their forecast over the next several months.
Hello everyone. So we have gathered the entire Storm Team 2 team to talk about our thoughts on our winter weather outlook for this upcoming season.
Yeah, we have a La Nina that we are looking at.
And many other global patterns that will also have an impact on our winter.
And a very warm Lake Erie will come into play once again.
No doubt. All right, we're gonna get into all of that. But first, we're gonna start with our forecast zone by zone for how much snow we think we're gonna get this winter season. We'll start off in our Buffalo zone. So we expect snowfall here will be slightly below normal and temperatures trending a bit above normal. However, we once again may see some healthy snowfall events. So we're calling for 80 to 90 inches of snowfall for the entire winter season. The average is 94 inches.
For our northern zones, not surprisingly, the lowest totals. Look for snow totals in the 50 to 60 inch range.
Moving on to the south towns, snowfall totals near the lake shore is expected to be in the 70 to 90 inch range. However, inland and into the hills, 120 to 140 inches.
And heading south into the southern tier, we are looking at a larger range from 80 to 180 inches with those higher amounts over ski country.
So how did we get to this forecast? Here's a little bit as to the why.
Yeah, when meteorologists make season-long forecasts, there are a few naturally occurring climate variabilities that we need to take into consideration. The most well-known is the El Nino Southern Oscillation. It's projected to enter a negative phase, which is nicknamed La Nina. That means cooler than average sea surface temperatures in the Pacific near the equator, and that can alter the path of the jet stream. Now, for the Great Lakes region, we typically lean a little bit warmer and have a little bit more precipitation than normal during a La Nina. But again, that's just one of many climate factors we need to examine.
And you remember back in 2012, we had a weak to moderate La Nina, and of course, not a lot of snow that season. That's where we have to look at other weather patterns such as the NAO. The NAO stands for the North Atlantic Oscillation. This is where we look at the Icelandic low and the Azores high. When these pressures are stronger than average, we have a positive NAO, and it's a negative NAO when these pressures are weaker than average. When we have a negative NAO, that's when we can expect cold and wintry weather. However, this year we're expecting a more positive NAO, especially by January and February.
So La Nina weather patterns have become a lot more frequent in recent history. In fact, in the past 10 years, 5 years have featured a La Nina. However, going back 70 years, there have been 16 seasons with a weak La Nina like we're expecting. During those winter seasons, 8 have featured above normal snowfall, 5 below normal snowfall, and 3 years with average snowfall.
And Lake Erie always plays a factor, and the lake water continues to be very warm. And this year, even record-breaking once again for the first part of October, hitting 70 degrees for many days, and is again a large source of fuel for big lake effect snow events, potentially for the first part of winter especially. Even if we have melting in between events like last year, plan for some decent snow at times. Also, there is a continuing trend of Lake Erie not seeing as much ice cover. This chart shows the lake's ice cover is changing over time with fewer years of the lake freezing over in recent decades. And that trend appears to be accelerating, which is likely a contributing factor to more frequent major lake effect snowstorms.
That's a brief look at our winter weather forecast. For more details into the whys, go to our streaming channel, WGRZ+. I'm meteorologist Patrick Hammer. For the entire weather team, we'll send it back to you.